Nearly by 2017, one famous animal rights group has conducted undercover investigations into farms supplying eggs they claim as free range, and it's actually pretty hard to believe what they found. From your half-fried eggs to poached ones, what matters the most is, are they really worth buying? Who has all the time to check their backgrounds? So come with me to see, are we really consuming protein or garbage? As soon as we step into their farms, it's all pretty well managed so far, but let's not jump onto the conclusions. Free-range farms are designed to give hens access to the great outdoors while ensuring they have a cozy indoor area for rest. Farmers collect hen manure and then process it into organic fertilizer to grow crops with it, which later becomes chicken feed. Free-range hens may roam the outdoors and forage for bugs and plants, but that's only part of their nutritional story. They provide a controlled diet tailored to meet the hens' needs, ensuring they stay healthy, active, and produce high-quality eggs. A typical free-range chicken's diet is a balanced mix of grains, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Hens that roam freely in pastures tend to consume more diverse foods such as grass, weeds, and insects, all of which are natural sources of omega-3s. So, yeah, one standout benefit. Omega-3s are essential fatty acids that our bodies don't produce, making them a valuable addition to any diet. They're known to support heart and brain health, reduce inflammation, and even improve mood. Studies have shown that free-range eggs can contain up to twice as much omega-3 as eggs from caged hens. What do you think? Is it all worth it so far? I'd genuinely love to know your thoughts. After seeing the entire process up close, does it still feel safe to eat? And these are the real scenes of how they actually clean the factories on a daily basis and process the manure into fertilizers. And the quantity is pretty impressive. What can be more challenging here are the cracks. You see cracks in eggs let bacteria inside. They also speed up spoilage, drying out the egg and affecting its taste and texture. Even tiny cracks can ruin the whole egg. Eggs straight from the farm might still have traces of dirt, feathers, or even bacteria on their shells, so they need to be thoroughly cleaned, which is why they're brought here. What we can see is the modern egg cleaning systems are being used here that are designed to handle this with precision, speed, and care. Pretty amazing. Egg washing systems can clean thousands of eggs per hour. Some high-tech setups even have sensors that adjust water pressure and brush speed based on the size and fragility of the eggs being processed. Automated systems here ensure every egg is cleaned uniformly, reducing the risk of contamination. This level of precision would be impossible with manual cleaning, especially at the scale needed to handle the millions of eggs produced daily. When it comes to nutrition, free-range eggs often have an edge over their conventional counterparts, and it all ties back to the hen's diet. On free-range farms, just like in large-scale egg operations, advanced technology steps in to ensure only the best eggs make it to the carton. Another big boost comes in with free-range eggs is in the form of vitamins, especially vitamin D. When free-range hens spend time in the sunlight, their bodies produce more vitamin D, which transfers to the eggs. Vitamin D being crucial for strong bones and a healthy immune system, eggs are one of the few natural food sources of this vitamin. Furthermore, the product that took my entire attention was those beaten egg boxes. Yeah, can you believe they actually put all the good eggs inside the box? Come, I'll show you. Eggs designated for yolk and white separation are transported via conveyors to egg-breaking machines. These systems are designed to handle thousands of eggs per hour, minimizing manual handling to maintain hygiene. Once the eggs are cracked, the yolks and whites are separated through a series of precise movements. Advanced sensors detect any fragments of shell that might mix with the egg contents, ensuring a clean separation. Industrial systems incorporate quality control measures during the separation process. They literally detect and reject discolored or broken yolks. On the other hand, they scoop out some of the fresh eggs and boil them so that we don't have to face any inconvenience. After boiling, the eggs are rapidly cooled in large chilling tanks, filled with cold water or an ice water mixture to stop the cooking process immediately. The water temperature is precisely controlled, typically at 100 degrees Celsius, to ensure uniform cooking. Yes, we're about to answer your next question. Why do they need to do this beforehand? So they bulk boiled eggs, often for products like ready-to-eat snacks, salads, or sandwich fillings, rely on advanced automated systems to achieve perfect results. Every year, over 300 million tennis balls are used in games and tournaments around the world. Let's see how rubber is transformed into the iconic green balls. It all starts with the raw materials. To make a tennis ball, the factory needs rubber and felt. Rubber gives the ball its bounce, while felt provides the texture and color. Big rolls of rubber are the foundation of every tennis ball. This rubber is mixed with special ingredients to make it strong and bouncy. Once we have our rubber pieces ready, we need to shape them into tennis balls. To do this, they use metal molds that are designed to give rubber its spherical shape. These people are so smart, they have first shaped the rubber into a sheet with molds which will later be cut into smaller chunks. One more important thing, they are going to do some finishing by grinding the ball halves to make sure they're even before putting some stiffened glue to secure halves and make the perfect ball. After the rubber cores have been molded and glued to make a proper ball, they need to cool them down. The hot, newly molded balls are taken out of the molds and left to cool down. Meanwhile, the pool of fresh glue is all set so the balls would dip into it and get the glue all over them. The balls are ready for their felt cover, which basically is the outer layer of a tennis ball. Yeah, that green cover. Large sheets of felt are carefully cut into precise shapes. The cutting machines ensure that every piece is in the right size and shape. This felt will create the iconic fuzzy cover of the ball. The adhesive used must be strong enough to hold the felt in place during intense play, while remaining flexible to avoid affecting the ball's bounce. The prepared felt pieces are glued onto the rubber core. This step is done with great care to ensure the felt is evenly distributed and securely attached. These machines are used to stiffen the green wrap onto the balls firmly, so they make sure your tennis balls are worth buying. After the rubber cores are all set and covered in felt, the balls go into the super cool pressurized chamber, so they wouldn't be too flat or too stiff. Basically, it's all about getting that perfect bounce, so the balls will play just like they are supposed to. Without that pressurization, the balls wouldn't bounce correctly. Once the balls are pumped up to their ideal pressure, they are sealed into these airtight containers. The containers keep the balls from losing any air before they reach the store or local tennis court. It's super important because if the balls lost pressure, they wouldn't perform as well. Each step is essential to create a tennis ball that's durable, bouncy, and ready for the game. Who doesn't like the crunchy nuts? But have ever wondered what happens to them before they reach your table? The process starts with the first step, washing. Once washed, the walnuts move onto a conveyor belt for sorting. With the walnuts now dry, it's time for cracking. They head to the cracking machines, which carefully break open the hard outer shells. The cracking machines are designed to handle this task efficiently while keeping the nut halves intact. Watch as the shells split open and the walnut pieces fall into bins. They move through packaging machines where they're weighed, bagged, and sealed tight, ready to be shipped out and enjoyed. Breadsticks are a beloved snack and appetizer. Millions of people enjoy it every day. Let's see how the simple dough is transformed into crispy, golden breadsticks. Kneading helps the dough develop its strength, so the breadsticks will be just right, chewy on the inside and crispy on the outside. The dough is then rolled out and fed into a shaping machine. Here, it's cut into perfect breadstick shapes. The machine slices the dough into long, thin sticks, ready to be baked. Next and last stop, the oven. The breadsticks are sent to an oven to give them their final, tasty texture. What's that fragrance? It seems like something huge is being baked. Just like you guessed, it's the batch of millions of crepes being made in factories. I am one of those freaks who is completely mad about fancy breakfast, and for that reason, I love having crepes loaded with lots of berries and cream in the morning. Undoubtedly, flour is the backbone of any crepe, so this is our first stop. The harvested wheat is transported to storage silos. Now the process is typical. The grains will be cleaned, tempered, and milled into superfine flour. Oh, absolutely. Crepes almost always include eggs. They're one of those amazing ingredients that holds everything together and gives crepes their soft, flexible texture. With the simple science, the proteins in eggs help the batter bind, while the yolks add richness. It ends up being the most delicious breakfast ever. Those industries also have amazing machines that can crack, separate, and measure the eggs at lightning speed. If you only use yolks, your crepes would be richer but a bit heavy. And if you used just whites, they'd be lighter but lack that signature creamy texture. So when in doubt, crack the whole egg. Once the carefully sourced ingredients arrive at the factory, it's time for them to meet and mingle in the batter preparation stage. There are two typical methods to make crepes in any factory, one of which is a cylindrical stove to pick the right amount of batter. Spread it in perfectly round shape and pass it along to the massive, flat griddle plates heated to the perfect temperature. For larger scale operations, conveyor belts carry the partially cooked crepe to a second griddle where it cooks on the other side for around 15 to 20 seconds. The other method looks like this, the typical batter dispenser. Crepe day, or la chandeleur as they call it in France, is such a charming tradition, only if I said it right. It's celebrated every February 2nd and has roots that go way back. While it has religious origins tied to the presentation of Jesus at the temple, it's become more widely known and loved as Crepe Day in modern times. If you wondered, the type of wheat you use for crepes makes a huge difference. Let's start with regular wheat. This is the most common choice for sweet crepes, as it has a mild flavor, letting the sweetness of your toppings shine. Now comes buckwheat, which is a whole different vibe. It's gluten-free and darker and has a nuttier, earthier flavor. It's more commonly used in savory crepes, like galettes from Brittany, France. With the crepes perfectly cooked and cooled, it's time for filling and stacking. With the crepes folded, filled, or stacked, it's time for the big finish, packaging and freezing. Hey, you smart people! Enjoying the video? Show us some love by hitting the like button and saving this video so it stays right there in your list to watch again later. Check out those big buddies conveniently handling the most back-breaking task. The workers who belong there must be grateful for sure. Waffles are one of those snacks that have a simple yet magical appeal. Now, think about enjoying a crispy waffle from a factory line, the kind that's perfectly crisped, golden brown, and ready to be devoured in just a few minutes. It seems tempting, isn't it? Waffles are made with a process called flash baking. This involves a quick heat blast, which crisps up the outside of the waffles in seconds, ensuring they stay crunchy longer and have a crispier texture when you bite into them. After baking, the waffles are carefully cooled to maintain their crispy texture. It's important to prevent moisture from making the waffles soggy. When you see those perfectly cut cubes coated in glossy chocolate and wrapped up neatly, have you ever wondered how they're made in factories? The chocolate dropping system is where each cube is guided under a controlled chocolate flow, sometimes called a chocolate curtain. This silky cascade of melted chocolate ensures every cube gets an even coating. Whether you're enjoying them with cheese, spreads, or just on their own, there's something deeply satisfying about those crackers, specifically their crunch and lightness. Some crackers are perforated with tiny holes, which isn't just for decoration, obvious. Those holes, called docking holes, help prevent air bubbles from forming during baking. These cookies are somehow a cultural icon in South Korea and beyond. Known for their wholesome, lightly sweet taste and satisfying crunch, these cookies have become a go-to treat for generations. Speaking of cultural impact, digit cookies have become a staple in lunchboxes and tea times across South Korea. I don't want to put an end to this amazing video so soon, so you watch this luscious chocolate coating scene while we move to the next part of our video.